So the Chazon Ish is telling us here that this type of behavior darkens the soul and gets the person into a point where his lowliness, his low-life type of behavior becomes his second nature. And once he has developed these negative traits, whether it's bad, disgusting behavior like we discussed, or it's taking other people's stuff, or any other type of low-life behavior, once they've become used to this type of behavior, once they've become simply disgusting, and they think it's okay to be disgusting, not realizing that you are created b'tzelem Elokim, you were created in the image of God. God gave you the ability to determine right or wrong. You are the representative of God. Whether you are young or old, male or female, if you are a Jew, you have to be a representation of God in His Torah. Even if you think of yourself as, I'm not religious, you're still a representation of God, or going against God. But needless to say, you are. And this is why Moshe Rabbeinu got punished so harshly when he missed the opportunity to speak to the stone, and instead he hit the stone. Even though it made common sense that hitting the stone would work, because that's what happened last time. The first time that Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu to bring out the water, He told him to bring his staff and to hit one of the stones. And after Moshe Rabbeinu hit the stone, the water came out. So years later, Hashem asks Moshe Rabbeinu to do the same thing again, to bring water out after Miriam dies. Only this time, don't hit the stone. Speak to the stone. But because of all of the scoffers, the people that like to make fun, annoying Moshe Rabbeinu, and seeing that it's not working because he spoke to the wrong stone, and the water wasn't coming out, Moshe Rabbeinu hit the stone, and the water came out. Now, although the goal of getting the water out was achieved, the bigger goal of doing a Kiddush Hashem, of sanctifying Hashem's name, was missed. And that's why Hashem says to Moshe and Aaron, you are not going to enter Eretz Yisrael because you did not sanctify my name. How so? If you would have spoken to the stone and the water would have come out, then it would have been a Kiddush Hashem. The fact that you hit it and it came out, although it's wonderful, since the people already saw it or they heard about that happening before, it was nothing new to them. So there was no new opportunity to glorify Hashem's name. The fact that you hit the stone missed the opportunity altogether. If you would have spoken to the stone and the water still would have come out, that would have been something new that would have wowed everybody, and that would have sanctified Hashem's name and how great He is. You missed the opportunity, and because of that, you're not going to enter Eretz Yisrael. Which, from our perspective of lowly humans, it seems harsh. But of course, Hashem has endless amount of reasons of why He does what He does, and He's always right. So, a person that is going to be lowly in his behavior, not in the extraordinary way of Moshe Rabbeinu, in lowliness through righteousness, but rather lowliness in negative behavior, a person that is going to act like an animal, is going to, be disgusting, make disgusting sounds when he or she eats, make all types of sounds, annoy people, go to the bathroom and leave the door open, do all types of things that are just simply inconsiderate of the world around them. That type of person is not only considered a lowlife, but today we're also going to learn that person is not considered a kosher person. What do I mean by kosher person? According to the SHULCHAN ARUCH, you cannot use this person as a witness in any Jewish ceremony, similar to someone that desecrates Shabbat or is an idol worshiper who's not allowed to be a witness. This lowlife also cannot be used as a witness. So it's to that extent. This is not just a Mussar teachings of don't be disgusting, don't be a lowlife. This is a warning to lowlives that if they want to be a kosher person, they have to stop and they have to fix themselves. Or else they're simply putting themselves in a world of its own, a world of lowlives. Now, who wants to go up to Shamayim after 120 years and you have a bet din in Shamayim? You have the greatest rabbanim of the generation in front of you, the voice of God coming out from time to time, angels on the right, angels on the left, all types of extraordinary things your eyes have never seen. And you have a line of people in front of you, all the people that died that day. And everyone is waiting for their judgment. And each person, before they get judged, they're shown a movie of their entire life. What they did when they were a little boy. What they did when they grew up a little more. Oh, over there, look, you studied another Mishnah. Chazaku Baruch. Oh, look over there. You finished. You did a siyum on the Nevi'im series. Chazaku Baruch. Oh, you did it with your brother and sister. Great job. Oh, over there, you didn't listen to your Ima and Abba. Oh, over there, you did something that wasn't so nice. Did you apologize? Let's see. Oh, you apologized. Good job. And they show the kid's life. And then he's older. They show him when he's in yeshiva. And he's much more dedicated to Torah. And he's learning the Shas. And he's learning the Mishnayot. And he's learning Poskim. And he's learning the Zohar. And he's learning Shulchan ARUCH. And he's learning everything that's possible just to make sure he consumes all the Torah in the world. And he's teaching and he's learning. And eventually he gets judged like the righteous people out there. You are amazing. And then the next guy after him comes up. And the next guy says, oh, well, you aren't really a Torah scholar. What did you do with your life? Well, I wasn't a Torah scholar. I learned a little bit, but I used the money that I worked to help Torah scholars. Ah, okay, so they give him also a favorable judgment. And then there's another guy. But this guy, they say, hold on a second. Wait, no. Hold on a second. You have to go to a different department. Why? Well, the two people in front of me went. Yeah. They are good people that, they're not lowlifes. Excuse me? Yeah, you're in the lowlife department. You have to go to a lowlife bed, to just go to the Beddin that deals with lowlives. What's that? Oh, you'll find out when you get there. It's a little hot over there. What? Yes. You go to a place where they judge lowlives. Because they have a different judgment from righteous people. They learned Torah, they did mitzvot, they did everything. And the guy said, yeah, but I kept Shabbat. Yeah, you kept Shabbat, but you made everybody disgusted. While you were not driving on Shabbat, everyone else wanted to vomit every time they saw how you behaved. So you go to the lowlife department. Yeah, but I gave tzedakah. Yeah, you gave tzedakah, but you made the guy that you gave him tzedakah feel bad because you made fun of him because he's poor, acting like a lowlife. Oh, but I also I went to synagogue. Yes, you went to synagogue. But when you went to synagogue, you wanted to make sure everybody knows you're at synagogue. So you started talking in the synagogue, very loud, very obnoxious, and nobody can even pray because you were so annoying. Again, acting like a lowlife. Oh, but I worked really hard at business. Yes, you worked really hard in business and you cheated your customers and you cheated the government and you cheated your employees. Again, the same exact lowlife type of pattern was everywhere. In the synagogue, in the bank, in the restaurant, at work. You are a lowlife across the board. Hence the reason why the Beddin that will judge you will deal with you precisely. Because they deal with lowlives like you. Who wants to be that guy? Raise your hand if you want to be that guy. I don't have to see you to know that no one's raising their hand. So you see, Rabotai Yekarim, being a lowlife, being disgusting, being a thief, being a liar, being things that are negative is not just a hazard for the people around you. It's a hazard for yourself. It's like drinking poison every day. This is why our holy Torah tells us you have to learn the halacha, but you also have to learn the Mussar in order to find out if you are acting like a tzaddik or a tzaddikah or you're acting like a lowlife. So the Chazon Ish tells us that if a person has already gotten used to acting like a lowlife, to teach them becomes more difficult. Not impossible, but more difficult. And anyone that's involved in kiruv has to know that getting in. Has to know that they're going to be surrounded by lowlives many times. And their job is not to make fun of the people, but also not to ignore the fact that these people are lowlives. You have to acknowledge the fact that you are here to help them, not mock them. But that's not by ignoring the problem. It's by facing the problem, by letting people know, listen, that behavior is unacceptable. What you're doing is wrong. Because if you don't say it, you just join the rest of the people that are around this person and also don't say it. So if you don't say it and they don't say it, this guy thinks it's right. If he acts like an animal and his wife doesn't say anything, and his kids don't say anything, and his neighbor doesn't say anything, and the employees don't say anything, nobody says anything, either because they're scared or because they don't even realize it's that bad, and then you as the rabbi or the friend or the one that knows a little Torah, you come see and you see that, what, this guy's acting like a lowlife, it's disgusting. And you don't say anything either, guess what? You become just like them. And then he in his mind says, well, listen, you know what? I just did this really thing that some people say is disgusting, but even the rabbi didn't say anything, so it must not be disgusting. It must be okay. And he will continue acting that way, and you will also be guilty for his behavior. Because a person that sees his fellow doing something wrong and doesn't say anything gets sued in Shamayim for that same wrong behavior. Now, many times, the low life will say, listen, you may be right about if I steal or I hurt people, but what I'm doing technically is not stealing or hurting people. It's technically not even forbidden, according to the Torah. So, it's okay that I do it. Wrong. How do we know? There are laws and there are chukim, which are, there's laws that are things that are logical and things that are beyond logic. And character trait development is a combination of both. There are certain things that we obviously realize we have to fix, and there are certain things that even if we don't realize why they need to be fixed, the Torah tells us we have to fix them. So the Chazon Ish tells us that if you're going to be teaching somebody that's a low life, you have to understand already from getting into it, it's going to be a difficult path. It's going to be a difficult journey. Why? Because that lowliness is like a closed door that prevents the entrance of morality, meaning that it's not going to be enough to tell this person once to stop doing it. You'll have to do it sometimes more than once, sometimes more than twice, sometimes more than 3 times or 4 times. It all depends on how this person has lived their life until now. Because the more they've gotten used to behaving this way, the more they're used to it in such a way where they actually think it's right, and they'll even debate you of why it's right. So a person has to know that when they're first starting to do tshuva, the character trait development, the Mussar that you learn, in so many words, is going to pinpoint things that you're supposed to do. And if you're not doing them, that means that you are currently leaning towards the low life realm. For example, if somebody gets into doing tshuva, first thing they hear is you have to observe Shabbat. Good. Shabbat doesn't really require you to change your behavior that much. Just tells you just don't work, don't drive your car, have a nice, beautiful dinner, kiddush, bless before you eat, bless after you eat. It doesn't require that much change in your behavior. But if a person hears that aside from observing Shabbat, you also have to protect your brit. Watch your eyes. Don't look at things that are not modest. Now, it requires a person to change their behavior. Not just one day a week, but the entire week. And that certainly is a character trait development that takes a lot more effort. Now, if a person says, now listen, I just can't do it. I have to look at everything. Okay, so you are on the side of the low life. You may be good in other places, but over here right now, because your eyes are like a scanning machine in a supermarket, just looking for something to look at, so you could scan it, analyze it, and do what you want with it, you are in the low life section. If you stay that way, we already discussed what happens in Shamayim. But if you continue learning Mussar, you'll learn that, hey, the reason why the sages said you have to protect your eyes is because it says it in the Torah. And the Torah tells us in Shema Yisrael, "Velo taturu achel levavchem ve'achei einechem." Do not follow the things that are in your heart, the things that are in your eyes. Meaning, there are certain times that your heart desires things that are not allowed. And there are certain times that you see something, and then you want to do it, even though you know it's not allowed. So Torah tells you, don't do these things. It's not allowed. Now, if I do them, that means I'm a lowlife. I have to stop. I have to do whatever I can to stop, to control myself, and not be an animal. So the more a person learns how to avoid being a lowlife, the more righteous they become, without even working on their righteousness, without working on doing more mitzvot, without even trying to spend any more effort to become righteous. They become righteous by simply eliminating the